All right, best and worst of the sports weekend coming up in 15 minutes. Is that good? Jerry Brewer from the Washington Post. A look back at Super Bowl 57. He was there. He'll join us coming up at 4:30. But right now, Adam Seiko, huge game again for San Diego State and another win for the Aztecs this past Saturday over UNLV. They've got another big game. They're all big. Wednesday night on the road against Fresno State. The Aztecs currently alone in first place. Adam Seiko, 18.6 3-pointers in an 11-point win over UNLV. Joins us right now on John and Jim. Adam, it's always great to have you. I want to start with these last few games where you guys have really played some excellent basketball. And before the Boise State game, you had a team-only or players-only meeting. How did that meeting play a role in the way you guys are playing right now on the floor? And again, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me, guys. That player meeting that we held, was one of the best decisions that we could make for our team, this year. AG, me, Nate, Matt, we decided that we wanted to have this meeting after our loss to – who did we lose to the previous?
You lost
Nevada.
in Reno, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we lost in Reno, correct. Yeah, so we came back home. We had a lot of reflection to do, and it was a great meeting. We had it right before practice. And the best thing about it is that, we're having these meetings and we're still in first place, and that just shows to, the resilience that this program has, how much we want to win, our culture, the standard that we set ourselves to, and, ultimately helped us. A lot of guys spoke up, about personal things, whatever's on your mind, just let it all out. And, being able to have the opportunity to be around players who can do that, and, guys like AG and Nate and Matt who, want to be leaders as well, it was great for us. So I'm glad we did that.
So, you guys have a pretty tough schedule remaining to try to finish this thing off and win a Mountain West Conference regular season championship. But what needs to improve over these next couple of weeks to make sure you guys finish the job going into the conference tournament on a roll here and hopefully on a roll going into March Madness?
Yeah, I just think it's our attention to detail throughout the game. We watch a lot of clips when we watch film after games of, some elite defensive clips that we have, and then there's times and stretches, that will kind of, we'll fall off a little bit, and we won't, we'll miss assignments. And I think the consistency that we need to have, going on the stretch here defensively is super important. The metrics do matter. We want to still be a top defensive team, hold teams to, 50 points a game, and also offensively, just being consistent on offense as well. There's been games where, you could see the energy in our ball movement. And when that's going on, everybody eats. Everybody feels energy in the ball. Everybody feels energy within themselves. And then the last thing is just finishing games well. We got to finish games better. The last few games, teams have been able to make runs last 10 minutes, 5 minutes. And, we just got to focus into details, listen to the coaches, be coachable. And with that, we'll be all right.
Adam Seiko coming off a huge game for San Diego State in his senior year, 18.6 3-pointers, one of the nation's premier three-point shooters with us right now on John and Jim. So, Adam, I'm curious because, again, you win this game against UNLV, a very good team. They're capable of winning even in a place like Viejas, and you win it comfortably. You win by 11. But what is the mood like after a win like that when you had a 20 or 22-point lead, maybe with 4 or 5 minutes to play, you end up winning by 11. I know how competitive you guys are. I know how badly you want it. So what's it like after a game like that where you win it, but maybe you feel like you should have won it by more?
Yeah, I can't lie. It was frustrating. It was frustrating to, the last 5 minutes of the game, giving them a chance to just, cutting the lead a little bit more. I had a silly turnover out of bounds. Our defense down the stretch wasn't good. We were letting them get open layups. And, Dutch was frustrated as well, and I think he had the right to be because we're better than that. We had a 22-point lead. A few stretches happened, missed free throw blocks out, turnover, led to a few baskets for them, and we could have extended that to about 30. So, as much as it's frustrating, we work on, a lot of end of the game scenarios in practice, last 5 minutes. But, as long as we still won the game. So, you got to be happy about that. But then, in practice today and then tomorrow, we're working on end of game situations and learning how to, finish off stronger.
Adam, you're one of the, John said at the start of the interview, you're one of the best three-point shooters in the country. You made 6 of 10 against UNLV this past weekend. You've had some crazy games this year. The Utah State game in particular comes to mind, where you have to get the first 6 threes that you shot. When you're in that type of rhythm and this throughout this entire year, are you I can pull it from anywhere on the court, let the ball come to me and I'm going to shoot it? Or are you at times kind of looking for that shot because of how well you shot it this year?
Yeah, I'm. Over the course of the year, the guys are always telling me to, be aggressive. Coaches are always telling me to be aggressive, shoot more of these contested shots, shoot more harder shots because, I shoot such a high percentage of that. Some of the shots I don't take, they may fall and they may not. But, as good as a shooter I am, I just got to keep on being aggressive. And that just comes with the work I put in. Our manager's helping me out every day, just building confidence in myself. Like you said, taking deeper shots because teams guard me so close that I'm not always going to get, a shot in the half court off a play. So I have to find ways how to be aggressive, how to get open looks, and taking more tough contested shots because I know I'm a great shooter. And credit to my players, for just finding me on the floor, over the past month or so, they've really dialed in on looking for me, finding me like in transition and areas where I'm able to get a shot off or a good look. So credit to them and the coaches for also putting me in a good position, to succeed. And, glory to God, and it's just all the confidence in the work.
Adam, it's funny you say that because I want to say in the first half it was something ridiculous. Like you guys had 14 assists, UNLV had 0. I think you had like 23 or so for the game. You guys are really moving the ball well. Shoot, and also just a side note, like Dutch kind of joked when you hit 6. He's like, yeah, he had some other open looks too. I mean, he could have hit 7 or 8 or 9 in that game. But like when you think about the way you're moving the ball right now, what is that a product of? Is it trust, familiarity, experience? Because it feels like it's sticking less than it has at any point this year.
Yeah, it's just understanding like. Guys have to understand that we're such a talented team. We're so deep. We have so many talented players. Everybody can put the ball in the bucket. Everybody can get their own. But if we're playing at a high level with the ball moving, with energy in that ball, that's when we're at our best. I mean, we had flashes earlier this year. Went to Maui, played against Ohio State. I think there was like 5 guys in double figures. And, that's just something you have to understand each and every game. And, Darion, Lamont, being our PG, they run the show. They're the generals. So, they've been doing well as far as Lamont calling plays, being more of a player-driven point guard, leading us and just telling us, keep the ball hot. I'm also telling the players keep the ball hot because that's when we're at our best. Like teams can't guard us when everybody's touching the ball, everybody's moving. So if we can keep that consistency and understand that's what it's going to take for us, not just to win these games, but to beat teams by, 10 plus, 15 plus, which we can do and make a run in the tournament. We got to focus on that.
Finally, Adam, because I wanted to ask you this before you go. Justin Hudson was an assistant at San Diego State when you came here, right? He was an assistant. You played under Justin?
Yeah.
So what's this been like obviously he's now been there for 4 or 5 years. He's at Fresno. You're playing there Wednesday night. I mean, you've gone through this dynamic for games and games. It's not like the first time you've played Fresno State. But what is that dynamic like when you know someone and you go up against them?
Yeah, Hud is always showing love. He's always showing love to me when we play them. Always complimenting me and, after the game. But, we want to go in there and we always want to, beat them. We love Hud. He did great with this program. He did great with me for the years that I was here when he was here. But, we always want to beat them. Fresno's a tough team. They play us tough every single time we play them. Took us to OT a few times last year. So he scouts well. He's a good coach. And I'm excited. I'm always excited to play them because they compete at such a high level. Their record might not show it, but they do compete. So it'll be a good matchup on Wednesday.
Big game like they all are. Down the stretch we go. 8 o'clock Wednesday night, Save Mart Center in Fresno. Pre-game coverage right here at 7:30. Adam, keep up your incredible season. It's been fun to watch. We've enjoyed it, obviously, watching this team get off to a 20-5 start. And we will see you Wednesday night. And thanks, as always, for doing it.
Thanks, Adam.
Yes, sir. Thanks so much, John.
All right.